Guests in my podcast are like my coffee, strong, flavorful, and they always brighten my day. We have amazing conversations over coffee. We cover everything from growth to inspiring communities, empowering customers, and sharing exceptional leadership moments. In this season, we're hosting incredible leaders whose journeys inspired me to keep growing and learning every day. I'm Imane, and I welcome you to my podcast, Coffee with Me, Leaders of Change. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast today. I'm excited to have with me another guest from Redmond, Madhan Arumugam Ramakrishnan, Corporate Vice President, Microsoft Cloud for ISVs. Madhan has over 2 decades of enterprise leadership and has built and led several high-performance teams. I cannot wait for our conversation. Welcome to the podcast, Madhan.
Well, thank you for having me, Imane, and can't wait to get the conversation started.
Sounds good. Let's take a seat.
Will do.
Madhan, welcome to my podcast again.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sounds good, sounds good. So the first thing I want to do is to introduce you to the audience. Let them know who you are, your leadership journey. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. It's been over 2 decades in the tech industry. I started out as a programmer, a software engineer. I worked for Intel for about 7 years, based in USA, and it was a good start because I interned in that company. I started, in the bottom, really kind of learning, the art and trade of, how to kind of contribute in a big corporation. And then a big opportunity came by in 2008 to join Microsoft. I switched disciplines to become a product manager.
Wow.
And I was part of the team. I was very lucky to be in that place. I was part of the team that was incubating Azure at the time, very specifically SQL Azure, an Azure data team. And it was just an awesome journey since then because Azure was growing and, I happened to be in the place where the incubation was creating a business that is multi-billion-dollar. And then shortly thereafter, I joined the team, I became a people manager. And that was an interesting shift for me to understand how to lead and influence without authority and work with people so that way we know people are our assets, right? Of course, we are a technology company, but ultimately it's a people business.
Yes.
In and out, and they are the biggest asset. So yeah, it's been a very interesting journey. And one of the biggest transitions I made during my 15 years in Microsoft was when I moved from the product engineering organization to our customer success organization, which is where I met you.
Yes. And I'm very curious about that.
Yes. And
why and how?
Yes. So in fact, when I made that change, a lot of people were asking like, hey, that's a unorthodox change. People go from, the go-to-market organizations to engineering, you're doing the reverse. There were 2 main reasons. One, I was getting to a point in my career and my leadership journey where I'd built products. I was part of perhaps the most successful product out of Microsoft at the time with Azure. And I was learning a lot. I was continuing to learn a lot, but I felt like my learning was getting capped. I also felt I was kind of, be the old guard, kind of reminding people, and it was constraining. I wanted people to feel that, there is a big white space. They can go do new things without constraint. So I saw that in myself and said, like, I got to do something different. And so that was one of the reasons, the search
Amazing.
for learning. And two of my most favorite people, my manager at the time, Corey Sanders, and Mark Souza, who's still in the go-to-market organization, people I trust in engineering, they were moving to the go-to-market organization. I thought, like, with people like them around me, I will have the mentorship and the guidance to go on this journey where I knew nothing. I knew nothing about owning P&L. I knew nothing about running large organizations at scale in service of a customer. And I loved technology. I loved customers. And I felt like, customer success is the place where I would get both learning, but also, contribute, which is why I did that, shift. And I spent about three years in a customer success organization, the best time of my career.
Yeah, I love it because you built products and you wanted to implement them and see them being consumed and utilized with the customers in the customer success journey.
Yes, and it's an important point that you're making, Imane, because my biggest learning, leading the customer success organization for Azure was the importance of usage.
Yes.
in a consumption business, usage is life. You can create the world's best products. You can sell it to customers. But if customers are just buying and not using, you miss that feedback cycle. You don't know what you built, is actually solving what you designed and intended to solve. And having customers use it and wanting to use more is perhaps the greatest, signal that you can get to say you've got the product market fit. And in a consumption business, every day you have to earn that credibility. I'm actually adding value to an end customer use case. My product is actually helping. And obviously, the feedback loop is then super valuable to kind of create the next version, the next iteration. Even for category creation opportunities for Microsoft, like Microsoft Copilot, was coming out of that signal from customer success that tells us there is a pain point here. Sometimes very obvious, sometimes very latent. Like, sometimes, customers don't say it explicitly, but you can see there is a product opportunity, especially, in alignment with the Microsoft mission, which is all about empowering, right, every individual and organization to more.
I love it. And during customer success is when I met you. And, just a little bit of story here. You were my mentor during customer success, and then you moved back to engineering, and I moved to Ahmed's chief of staff. And one of the guidance or coaching that you gave me when I was talking to you about the next step, and I was like reaching that point of feeling a little bit of boredom. And you said, say it. Say to your leaders and your stakeholders that you are getting bored. And that was unconventional at that time to really go to someone and say, you know what, I love what I'm doing, but I think something is missing here. I think I'm being bored. And that helped into the next role, because I went and I said it to everybody, and then they said, okay, you're bored, you're not going to be bored in this role. Come and join Ahmed. So that was really one of the really nice, good coaching that I had 2 years ago.
And thank you for saying that, Imane, and thanks for the opportunity, to kind of work with you in a mentor role, because I learned just as much, from you as I hope you did. And one of the things that I loved about, how you approach your career was you were not complacent. You aspired, right? And I think it's an important part of being in tech. The tech, the customers, our partners, they want us to grow. They want Microsoft to grow. They want the individuals in Microsoft to grow. And they want to grow across the spectrum, right? As a leader, as a technical person in the company, or a business person in the company, to kind of keep reaching out and breaking the ceilings. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to get the innovation out of yourself, in the people around you, and then, of course, in the business.
Yeah, I love it. And then go into another point that's really, I see it as something that is defining your leadership as well, which is being student of yoga. And you openly share about it in your social media and with everyone. Really keen to see and understand how yoga shaped your career.
Yeah, thank you. It's a brilliant question. My journey into yoga, I've kind of dabbled with yoga when I was growing up in India. And then, when I got into the professional life, you can imagine, right, in a tech life, there's always things happening, always more things to do. You just don't have enough hours in the day. And at one point in my career in Microsoft, one of my mentors, recommended, like, look, you have to find your own way to manage your balance. This is similar to kind of, people saying, diet balances you. It's not the other way, right?
Yes.
So, and it is individual. So I had to kind of find my balance, and that's one I thought about, going back to yoga. My wife is also a yoga teacher, like mine, and I thought, like, hey, why not do that? It was a twin benefit. It was helping me become a better professional, but also a better individual, outside of work, and following the footsteps, my wife, paved for me. So I did my, teacher certification, both the 200-hour certification and the 500-hour certification, more focused on me becoming a better student as opposed to me going and teaching. And it helped tremendously. Often people say how much you learn outside of work helps you at work. And
Correct.
This was certainly true for me. And the most important thing that I would say is this sense of aspiration. In many ways, your aspirations define your life. And I had to kind of really think, what do I want to aspire? What do I want to be every day? How do I want to show up as a leader, as an individual, as a parent, as a husband, as a community member, as a global citizen. So the sense of aspiration and this aspiration to kind of continuously evolve yourself, taking advantage of the community around you and be on a learning path, I think was the biggest learning for me.
I love it, and you love it, and please keep inspiring people and getting them aspired by your journey and your continuous learning, whether it's in yoga or outside of Microsoft and inside Microsoft as well. I'm so humbled that you are here in Singapore with us today. I know that you visited Australia. We met impromptu in Australia, in Sydney, and now in Singapore. Tell us a little bit more about this journey and this trip.
Yeah. Look, I have a global team, and our team focuses on taking the value of Microsoft Cloud to all software-led partners or independent software vendors, ISVs, as we like to call them, because we believe that the combination of Azure and Power Platform and Teams and GitHub presents, especially in the era of Gen AI, an incredible opportunity for builders to take full advantage of Microsoft Cloud. And when they build these compelling industry applications or line of business applications, our customers benefit from that, right? So with that charter, our team is global, right? Because we know there are builders all over the globe, and especially in Asia.
Especially in Asia.
And I'm an Asian. I grew up in this part of the world, and now I'm settled on the west coast of United States. So I see the energy, the vibrancy that Asia has. How diversity is foundational in the fabric. Like, you just fly anywhere from Singapore, you will see a completely different landscape with the same aspiration, right? Like, I think this aspiration is common. A lot of builders with tremendous ideas aspiring to go global. And they are so grounded and rooted in, this diverse fabric, right? The languages are different, the mix of, ethnicity and language and religion really kind of gives a fertile ground for innovation, especially in tech. So just even in this trip, the set of partners I met in across industries, across businesses, across different countries, really inspired me to kind of do more for them. And it was great to just listen to them and hear from them on how they're thinking about generative AI, how they're thinking about advancing human agency, topics on sustainability, topics on how to kind of create governance, better governance models, avoiding human conflict, resolving human conflict. So they have, great ideas that would impact the human race, and we want to play a role in empowering them.
No, I love it. I love it because what I see in Asia, and again, we always say that diversity is innovation. It's absolutely that. We're so diverse all across Asia Pacific and Japan and China and Taiwan and Hong Kong. And we have this diversity, and the communities here, they build for purpose. They build for mission. There is no building in order to gain more share or gain more customers. They build for sustainability. They build for the human, empowering the human, every organization to achieve more. So they're so much aligned to our mission and so much aligned to our purpose that the partnership just makes sense for us to partner with the ISVs and help them, empower them, achieve more as well.
Yeah. One of the points that you're making, Imane, that really kind of resonates with partners when I talk to them globally, but certainly in this region, is the mission of Microsoft is based on this concept of abundance. Like, we all have potential, perhaps even undiscovered potential, right? As an individual, as a corporate citizen, a global citizen, as a national entity, to be able to do more. And if we have that aspiration, if we have that sense of gain, like you're coming from a place of energy, right? And I think, we have some tough problems in the planet, and it's screaming for us to kind of come together and create innovation. So I'm really encouraged by, coming from this place of gain as opposed to a place of lack where, like you're afraid and you have to go do something. It just changes, the landscape of innovation in a different way because it is in the service of, your customers and partners who have the same aspiration to do more, and empowerment and human agency is in the center of all this activity.
I love it. I love it. The parting words from you before you go to Redmond to our audience and aspiring leaders.
Yeah, look, I think, from a leadership point of view, one of the things that I've always thought about is change really starts from within. And I think when that change happens within, you have a sense of clarity, and that clarity is confidence and clarity is kindness. So when you're able to, really be clear about the mission, like how Microsoft is, or how we are about, enabling partners to build on top of us, right? Then out of that, comes very clear opportunities,
Yes.
based on that aspiration. And I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'm leaving Asia with a huge, energetic boost. Again, feeling, inspired about our purpose and wanting to do more, especially helping partners in this region. The last thing, I would leave you with is Microsoft has always been three things for me. One, we are a developer company. We always think about builders. We are the company that came up with, .NET and SQL and Windows and Visual Studio. We continue that DNA today. We are also the platform company, and by definition, more value above us that is created by partners and below us. And then, last but not the least, we are a partner-led company. We really want partners to be the ones creating the value and the margin above us.
Truly we are. Truly we are. Thank you, Madhan, for joining me today.
Thank you. It's a really good conversation. I'm glad I came here.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching.